Right, our first induction in this second half is in the all-around category, and it is Adrian Brown. Adrian began playing softball at the age of 9 with the West End Community Club. That was over 40 years ago, and he is still involved in and contributing to the game. In high school, he played with the Daniel McIntyre Macaroons, you did not, the Daniel McIntyre Maroons, and during his last year in high school, began playing for Vendome Hotel in the Winnipeg Men's Fastball League. The team won provincial championships in 1990 and 1991. The team changed to Pete and Marty's and won another provincial in 1993. In 1994, Adrian was asked to play for a startup junior team, the Manitoba Alliance, that went to junior nationals and won a silver medal. He was named All-Star third baseman, the first of many such awards he would receive. Following his junior career, he played with senior teams such as the Manitoba Red Dogs, the Senior Manitoba Alliance, and the Vipers. These teams qualified for Western Canadian Championships, Canadian National Championships, ISC tournaments, and North American Fast Pitch Association Championships. In 1997, he was asked to play for the Kegel Black Knights out of North Dakota. Over the next 9 years, he would play in numerous ISC travel leagues, ISC tournaments, and NAFA tournaments. In 1999, he was an all-world selection in the A division of the NAFA tournament, and in 2003, he was an all-world selection in the AA and Open divisions. At NAFA tournaments, he has played on 3 runner-up teams, and in 2008 was on the NAFA AAA championship team. In 2005, Adrian played in his last ISC tournament before having off-season knee surgery, which led him into his coaching career. He coached the Black Knights from 2006 to 2011, with the team qualifying for 5 ISC tournament berths and 2 NAFA tournaments, winning a AA silver in 2007 and a AAA gold in 2008. In 2011, he coached the Stonewall Phantoms to a men's provincial title and an appearance at the Western Canadians. In 2015, coaching the LaSalle Bullets, the team won a silver at Western Canadians, and in 2017, the team represented Manitoba at Nationals, where he won Coach of the Year. Adrian is still involved in coaching, working with the U13 girls team out of Springfield, and continues to give back to the game by accepting a position as director on the Manitoba Softball Hall of Fame board, currently serving as vice president. There is no question that fastball is in his blood. It seems that whenever he was involved with a team, whether as a coach or a player, a lot of winning occurred. Now he is continuing his involvement with the sport by providing opportunities for young people to play the game of fastball. Adrian has already been inducted to the Softball Hall of Fame as a member of the 1994-95 Manitoba Alliance Junior Men's team and is now inducted into the all-around category this evening. Please join me in welcoming Adrian Brown into the Softball Hall of Fame in the all-around category.
Thanks, Kathy. Thank you very much. I'd like to start the evening off by thanking John Kegel and Eric Lewis for the nomination, as well as the selection committee for the recommendation of this honor. This game has always been about fun for me. So for it to lead to an honor like this is truly amazing. As some of you are aware, with the nomination, you're asked to document your career year by year in order to help the selection committee with their nominees. I really didn't know what kind of investment I had with the game until I started doing this. Playing ball as a kid, high school, men's ball, junior ball, men's ball, then coaching men's, coaching kids. Awfully quickly, it got to 40 years of being involved with this wonderful game, and I've loved every minute of it. Part of the fun is the travel. We've got to see a fair bit of North America with it. Whitehorse, Albuquerque, Victoria, Summerside, just to name a few. Biggest thing this game has brought to my life, though, is the friendships. The people I've had the pleasure of meeting and getting to know and becoming friends with is immeasurable. The majority of my closest friends in life today are due to the game of ball, whether it's hardball, softball, just fun in general. With that, I have a few people I would like to thank, or that some of you might want to blame for me standing up here today. Boyd Van Egelen. Boyd was my high school fastball and football coach. He pushed me to excel. He taught me intensity between the lines. It was never too soon to go all in and commit to the sport. Don't be afraid to make a mistake by trying too hard. No one will ever be upset by effort. He was also the one who introduced me to John Kegel. Brad Bouchard. Brad and I were on different teams growing up. He was Isaac Brock. I was West End. He was General Wolf. I was Sergeant Park. High school, I had the pleasure of formally meeting him and becoming teammates with him at Daniel Mac, home of the Maroons. After high school, Brad was able to get me onto the Vendome Hotel Intermediate Men's team. This also led to tournaments in Fargo and Sioux City with the Asham team. Great part of this sport is the way the veterans take care of the young kids. And by this, I mean part of the tradition of the, oh, Brad, what's the matter, bud? Part of the tradition of the Fargo tournament was the boys would head to the bar on the Saturday night. Well, Brad and I were 18 years old. We were too young to get into the bars, so we were relegated to the hotel. But the veterans took care of us. Shortly before heading out, Randy Dutame stopped by our room with a case of beer. Brad had mentioned that Greg might be bringing a case of beer by the room, so we hid it in the bathroom. Well, shortly after, Reed Burst came in with a case of beer. And Patty Spiring and PK were soon to follow, so now we were sitting with 96 beers in the bathroom before Greg came in with his 12-pack. So, no, it was 12. Yeah, it was a full 12. Yeah. So Brad and I were determined. We filled up the bathtub with all these cans of beer, covered them with ice, and figured, we're Canadians, this is American beer, 108 cans of beer, no problem. Well, we woke up, 1:30 in the morning, the ball team was already standing in the room laughing, and there was still about 90 cans of beer left in the tub. Just pure lightweights. A few years after that, though, Brad approached me with a suggestion of joining him to go back to junior to play with the Alliance. It was certainly something I hadn't thought of doing, but I asked him, who's playing? So he said Nathan, Rob Giesbrecht, Kelly Peters, Curtis Rouse, Barry Zurban, a few other guys from Landmark, Winkler, Winnipeg. And I'm thinking to myself, God, I don't even like half those guys. But I figured, I should maybe give this a shot, and I'm sure glad I did. It's probably the best decision I could have made. And those two guys I didn't like are both here tonight, and they're two of the better friends I've got in life today. And that entire team will always have a special place in my heart. Reed and Sheldon Burse. I met them through the Vendome and Asham teams, and right from the start, these two had my attention. The strategy, the attention to detail, the game within the game, pitcher's tendencies, catcher's tendencies, middle infielders cheating. They showed me the little details the opposition provides is endless. You just need to find it. John Kegel. I met John in 1988. He brought one of his teams up from Fargo for a high school tournament, and in turn, we would send a high school team down to travel to Fargo to play in one of theirs. Later that year, he was putting together a junior team and asked me to be a part of it. Although that situation didn't work, others did, which led me to playing and coaching for teams out of Fargo for 23 years. Without his sponsorships and dedication to the game, most of that wouldn't have been possible. Ralph Nesper. I met Ralph in 1994. He was the coach of our Manitoba Alliance team. He was one of the best coaches I've ever had, but I didn't realize it at the time. He had a team that was put together as some of the most talented junior players in the province. I mean, how hard could it be to coach this team? But that became very clear in 2006 when I started coaching the Black Knights. I realized then that it took a lot of hard work and discipline to manage and coach a team where every player could be a starter. Different egos, different theories, different thought processes to manage. There may not have been any bad lineups, but there was always a lot of second guessing. Fran Giesbrecht. One of the best hitting coaches and swing analysts I've had the opportunity to learn from. Those that know me know that my swing is anything but textbook. Fran figured out very early how to deal with it. Never tried to change it, just simplify things along the way. Working with him and learning how to read swing tendencies is something I was able to benefit from as a catcher, and even more so as a coach. Jen Brown, you were always there to offer encouragement and support through the playing days, especially the rough games or tournaments. You also sacrificed a good part of your ball career to support mine. For that, I thank you. Dina Brown, I'm definitely not standing here today without your support. I'm not going to look at you because I'll probably start crying. So 2005 and 2006 were easy years to walk away from the game. The issues weren't being resolved. Frustration was starting to mount. Eric and John Lewis suggested I change roles to a player coach. I wasn't too keen on it, but you were the one that convinced me to give it a shot. And I'm glad I did. It was a whole new approach to the game, and at that level, the learning curve was steep. The time you put in to support me wasn't unnoticed. I could easily do a 10-minute speech on the sacrifices you alone have made. When 2021 came around, I thought everything was done. Cam Christie asked if I could help out with the U13 girls team. I remember going home and telling Dina, so Cam wants me to help with the girls team. And I started laughing, and she says, why wouldn't you? She had a good point, and she was right. This new challenge has now turned into year 3 with helping teach the skills in the game to kids at the grassroots level. Mom and Dad, there's no place to start, no place to finish in thanking you. The endless games of catch, batting practice, broken windows. I am pretty sure I replaced every window in the house at least once. The neighbor's basement window. I think I replaced the garage window, 3 times before we finally put in plexiglass? So I had to get a paper route so I could afford to keep replacing them. All the coaching and driving all over the province to get me to games and tournaments, lending me money to buy a car to drive myself to games and tournaments. The support and encouragement. I was never forced to play any sport, but you always supported the ones I chose. Believe me, I know I wasn't the easiest kid to raise, but all I can do is offer you a sincere thank you. I'd also like to thank all the friends and family that came out tonight to support me. It truly means the world to me. Thank you very much.